Hello, welcome to Stephen Speak. This week on Stephen Speak, we have another guest. Cracking through these guests, it's another person called Steve, and I'm not doing this deliberately, but all my guests have started with an S, and it's not a deliberate thing at all. But this week we're going to be talking with Steve, and we're going to be chatting about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not Hero Turtles, or whatever you want. We'll see. As we are from the UK, I suppose it should be Hero, and a little bit of Star Wars as well. So let's get into it. Welcome to Stephen Speak, the podcast. Unscripted prattle on everything and nothing. Beautiful. We were both having a bit of a dance during that. I like getting a bit groovy with that, weren't we? So obviously, everyone, welcome Steve here. So we've got he's on the show for the first time, maybe not the last time. You never know, depending on how he feels today.
Virgin podcast, first time ever.
I wish I was sponsored by Virgin. That'd be quite nice. That'd be quite nice. So
Rare thing.
It's Steve. There you go. I'll give you a kazoo fanfare.
Nice.
Because I felt like that was appropriate for our mentality. Exactly. Well, I didn't even need that, did I? I got you here. So, Steve, we're going to talk about a bit of Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, Ninja Turtles.
Well, here we go.
That is the question, and a bit of Star Wars. But I think as I've mentioned that first, I think we'll start with the Turtles, shall we? So,
right.
We both like the Turtles.
We love the Turtles.
And you commented on my green colour, and it is kind of to do with that as well as some other factors. But for you, I know you have quite an extensive collection of turtle things.
I've got a few bits.
So I think we'll start from the start. Which is when did you get into turtles, and why is it such a big thing for you?
Right.
Loaded questions. Big questions.
I started collecting turtles probably 85.
Okay.
Obviously, the first comic came out in 84.
Yep.
I was always into love martial arts stuff. Grew up watching obviously Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan.
Yep.
And I happened to go in one of my comic shops one day and seen this comic book called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Obviously, I love ninjas. And I was like, what the hell is this?
It's such an intriguing concept as well, isn't it? Like,
I was like, yeah, this is a bit odd, like myself. So anyway, I picked it up, started flicking through it, and I thought, oh my God, this is rather good. So I picked up a copy. I think it was a graphic novel I first got by First Publishing.
Yep.
I think that was the first one I got, but I'm sure that didn't come out till 86, and I'm sure I started in 85.
Right.
So I may have already picked up some comics from somewhere from my shop before I saw the graphic novel, but won't get into that. So personally, for me, I actually started with Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So
the original.
Personally, ninjas have always been the way.
Yeah.
Silent, unlike us. Obviously,
I always say Ninja Turtles, even though in this country it was like promoted as heroes because of the ninja connotation and violence and all that sort of stuff.
That was because of the cartoon.
Yeah.
In 89.
And that's kind of where I got into it, because I'm a little bit younger than you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Sonny.
So you are, son. So yeah, I'm a little bit younger than you, but that was my, and I was kind of similar to you when I saw it. I was like, oh my God, what the hell is this? There's nothing like it really. It was like, loved ninjas as well. I was obsessed with like Shinobi, the Shinobi computer game and stuff like that. Absolutely obsessed with like.
You never complete that.
No, exactly. No, it was just ridiculous. Just obsessed with ninja throwing stars and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I saw the Turtles, I was just like, this is amazing, and like that for me was that was it then. And I didn't even know there was a comic book, if I'm honest with you. Like, because when you're that young, like I was like, when it came out, I was 6.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it's a cartoon, and I probably was about. I'm not gonna lie, I was probably about 18 when someone said, "Do you know that came from a comic book?" And I was like, "Are you joking?" And I was like, "I need to find these comic books."
Well, I was on the verge of a grown-ass man when the cartoon came out.
Yeah.
I was 20.
Did you still watch it though?
Of course I did. It's Turtles. You know, why wouldn't I?
Because I knew that was gonna be a stupid question, but yeah.
I was trying to rewatch it last year. On streaming, but it's very hard to find on streaming.
It is.
To be fair, I managed to watch about 5 or 6 episodes of season 1, and then it skipped a few. I could find more, but I didn't want to ruin the run, so I've kind of held back again.
You have to kind of watch things in sequence, don't you?
Yeah.
You've got a couple of episodes, or maybe one. I've given Steve an old Turtles VHS that I have. So yeah, there you go. There you go.
And it's rewound.
And it's rewound because
Ready to
I'm a
play.
very sensible lad.
It's a good lad.
Even when I was a kid, I still rewound everything. It was only for easy access. When you come to watch it next time, it was like instant gratification. You see, so.
Yeah.
But if you need to borrow a VHS player,
Well, that was the problem with VHS. It's not like cassettes. You couldn't stick a massive pencil
that's it. Yeah,
inside
exactly.
a VHS and swizzle it round.
Exactly. No, well, that's true. Isn't it? It's
Yeah.
true. So you say like obviously you were a bit old when you saw the cartoon.
Yeah.
When did like the collecting of things start apart from the comics? Was that before the cartoon or was that like during?
Well, see the figures.
Because I don't know how much merchandise was out actually. So
No,
was
the
there any
figures
merchandise
started
from the
coming
comics?
out, which is it's quite odd because the cartoon was 89, but I think because of already the hype of the comic was already doing well. They started producing figures
Right.
ready for it. So a lot of my figures date from 88.
Oh right, cool.
But I think they probably got released in 89.
And were them figures were them figures based on the comics or were they based on the up and coming TV show?
Always the comics back then.
Always the comics back then.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Which they all wore the same colour bandana.
To be fair, I say comics, they're mainly based really on the cartoon.
The cartoon.
To coincide. Like, same with like original He-Man and Thundercats and things like that.
Yeah,
They did the figures based on the cartoon because the cartoon was very popular.
Yep.
So obviously they rake the money in through the figures.
Yep.
You know, and I've still got some of my original figures from back then,
Nice.
still carded. So it's sort
Still
of
on the card?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, mock as us geeks like to call them. You know, have you got a mock? Well, it's actually a mock turtle.
A mock turtle.
Yeah, which is nothing to do with Alice in Wonderland. But there you go. I can't see Alice in Wonderland being a ninja, but there you go.
Yeah, you never know, mate. That'll come out soon.
Yeah, she might have been heroin.
Someone
but,
will reinvent it.
Yeah.
That's fascinating because I didn't have any of the toys. Weirdly enough, I don't know why. Like, I was absolutely mental on the show.
Yeah.
But I think Lego kind of overtook it. Like, my love for Lego, loved the turtles.
Yeah.
But my mum was kind of like, well, you can't have everything. So I was like Lego and Mantiforce. Do you remember Mantiforce?
But now we're grown men, we can have what we want.
Well, look at where you're sitting. Like it's it's a bit ridiculous, really. I do come in this room and love it, and then I go, yeah.
Oh
you probably
my
could have
God,
bought a car or something with all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
imagine where you could have been in life. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I could have probably toured the world or something. But but this will last a lifetime. Like, who needs memories?
yeah. When you got all this sweet stuff.
Get me VHS down and just rewatch Turtles.
Yeah.
So we digress like normally on this podcast. So how much stuff have you got from Turtles? Because I know it must be quite a lot from seeing you posting.
I've got pretty much every comic
Yep.
since 1984 up till now.
Up till now.
Obviously, not all the variants. Some of the variants are really hard to get hold of. I think my issue 1 is only a 5th print. I think.
Right.
I've got first print of 3 onwards.
Right.
Um,
Did you get them graded at all? Because I know you can
no,
get them graded.
no, I never got into that
No.
because I've always had that weird thing of sending them off.
That's what scares me.
Waiting for him to come back undamaged.
Paid 20 quid, it disappears, and you're like, what if it got damaged on the way, and then what, do they damage it and they just send it back? What proof have you got? And stuff like that, isn't it?
Obviously, the thing with me comics, I do bag and board them.
Yeah.
But to get them slabbed, you can never actually feel them again. You can't.
That's it's true, isn't it? Yeah, it's sealed then, isn't it?
I've tried buying graphic novels. Obviously, I do buy turtle graphic novels because it's turtles. But I've never got into the graphic novel line because for me personally, you get the variants.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Turtles was the very first comic to ever do variant covers.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's a bit of useless trivia that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Hey, I find that interesting.
Yeah, and which I thought was amazing because I was like, yeah, I've been in this. So yeah,
I'm an original.
yeah, original TIT. Well, that's tit,
that's tit, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've been called many things, but there you go. TUT, Turtle Power. You know.
Turtle Power. There you go. That'll do. I don't mind. Tits is fine for me.
I'm excited. I'm waffling.
Join the club, pal. Join the club.
But,
what's your favourite piece that you've got, do you think?
Oh, my God. I've actually got a full counter display stand with all the movie badges on it. It's still got all the badges original on it. I've got that. I've got quite a rare sort of resin statue done by A.C. Farley. It was an artist on the Turtles.
Yeah.
In the late 80s. Lovely guy. It was quite hard. I did have a bronzed version, and I sold it in the 90s, regrettably, because a guy that I knew had a here we go, a 2-foot Pamela Anderson barbed wire statue that I wanted. Barbed wire. And obviously, being in my 20s, I saw this a lovely statue of Pamela Anderson, and I thought the only thing I got that he wanted was this turtle, and I regrettably
swapped
it and did a bit of a deal with him. I know, but on the pretense that he'd sell it back to me.
Right.
And obviously he didn't, and he says he sold it on, but I don't know. Anyway,
the things you do when you're young, eh?
It took me absolutely years and years. It's only in the last 5 years I've managed to get another one.
Really?
Yeah, and absolute nightmare trying to find one. This one's come. It's white. This one, like a white resin, and it's Leonardo.
I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah. I posted online.
I told you turned your phone off like a good guest.
Yeah,
mine's still bloody on.
Yeah, but this is your house, mate. You know what I mean? But yeah. But
break my own rules.
Yeah, it's one of them items that you don't see very often.
That's ace.
I've got other bits. It's hard to say.
I think it's like anything when you
everywhere.
collect. I think it's when you collect stuff though. You probably don't have like if you said what's my favorite thing in this room, like my favorite thing of Lego, I wouldn't be able to give you one thing because I like multiple things for completely different reasons. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. So it's a bit of a mean question, really, wasn't it? That was
and as you know, one of my current favourite things is a custom built Ninja Turtle BMX.
Yes, we were talking about that just before we started recording, didn't we? We were saying that I love that thing.
Yeah,
like every time I see you with it, like I'm the most jealous because BMXs are the best thing ever.
Yeah,
Turtles BMXs are ace. And what are the handlebars?
Nunchuck handlebars.
Freaking nunchucks. Like, yeah.
Although it's if you try and pick the nunchucks up, you have to lift the whole bike.
Yeah, it's connected. Isn't it? Yeah.
So it will hurt somebody.
It's not a very viable weapon.
Yeah. No.
I suppose you could swing around your head.
Yeah, if somebody's attacking you, you just go, hang on, mate. Let me
hang
just
on
pick my bike
seconds.
up. Let me just get an axe-saw and
smack him with the back wheel.
But yeah,
that's
pretty cool.
pretty special. That bike, that is pretty special.
And obviously, I've got a private car registration, Turtles as well.
You know what? I never realised that, and I saw you in your car one day, and I was like, "Holy crap! How have I never noticed that?"
Well, to be fair,
I actually saw your car, and didn't realise it was you.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Holy crap, Steve would." Oh, it's Steve.
Yeah,
so I'm about to say Steve would love that.
Well, it's quite funny because a few years ago, I did actually see a TMNT car registration in Crewe, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "I need to get one anyway." Yeah, I was just flicking through car registration. I thought I'm never going to find one, and there was one available.
Ace.
And it was, I think they had TMNT with either 80 or I think it was 92 or something like that. And personally, because it started in the 80s, I had to have the 80.
I had the 81. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's nice, size. I like it.
So it's like I'm living the dream.
You are a little bit, aren't you? Really,
yeah.
to be fair.
Yeah.
You are.
I do tell my missus I do love her more than Turtles, just to convince her that I do love her.
I say that to my wife, but I don't think she believes me.
You say you love her more than Lego?
I say I love her more than those things, but I don't think she believes me. I spend a lot of my time in this room, so I think she knows otherwise. Yeah. But when the chips are down, when the chips are down, I love her more.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll leave Turtles to one side now.
Yep.
We'll leave Turtles to one side. Maybe we'll come back to it maybe at a later date. Maybe if you want to come back on, maybe we can do a bit of a show and tell. We can do a video because I might get into video podcasting, so maybe we can do a show and tell.
Buck steady. Let's capture them turtles.
I never know what I'm going to get with you, Steve.
No, I don't know what's going on.
Star Wars. I was hoping you were going to do your Chewie impression. Love it. Star Wars, similar thing to Turtles.
Yeah.
Bit of an obsession.
Just love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Now, the thing is with Star Wars...
Oh, go on.
I was 8 when it came out.
Yep.
but I don't actually remember going to see it. Now, most people remember
Really?
going to see it if they're of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
age
of course.
or older.
Of course.
But I can't remember going to see it. But I just know that Star Wars has been in my life since I was a kid.
Yeah, I think that's probably the same for a lot of people. Like even of like later generations, like recent generations. Because if you say going to say to like a 4 or 5-year-old now, what's a lightsaber? They'll know exactly what it is. Show them a picture of Yoda, they know who Yoda is. Like,
or at least Grogu.
Or Grogu. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a cultural thing, isn't it? It has become like ingrained in society a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like because people like it that much that they kind of educate.
I think even if you're not into
it.
Star Wars, you've heard of Star Wars.
Yeah, definitely. You can quote things from it without realizing it. Maybe.
Yeah, you can't not know of Star Wars.
I don't think I've met many people that haven't seen them, or at least seen.
I've met a few that
I
haven't seen it.
I think I've only met one person that said they've never watched them, and I was just like, I just thought they were a bit of a freak. I was like, what do you mean you've never watched it?
They're not on my Facebook list anymore.
That's it. They're deleting them all.
They've gone.
But I think it's that thing that some people just don't like hype as well. Like, so I know my missus kind of sometimes says, "Oh, if it gets too hyped, I don't want to watch it. Just to be spiteful kind of thing." Like,
talking hype.
Yeah.
When Titanic came out,
yes,
that went mental.
It did.
I probably didn't watch that till about 5 years after it come out. Yeah. Because I thought, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And do you know what? It was actually all right.
It was not a bad film. I went to see it at the cinema. I went on a date in the cinema, and I said to the girl that I was dating, it was like the first date, and I said, I just want to wait. I said, I just want to skip all the love story and get to the end when it sinks. And she was like, it sinks. So I didn't go out with her again.
Did you not?
No, because I thought.
Did you feel like you were drowning?
A little bit, mate. Yeah, a little bit. I sat through the whole film thinking, how does she not know the Titanic sunk? Like, I don't understand. It's in the trailer. It's in the trailer as well. So I was like, okay then. So, but Star Wars is. I remember when they re-released them, and I went to see the cinema to watch them. Yeah, because it's a different experience when you go to the cinema as well, isn't it?
Oh
so, I've owned them probably in most formats like DVD, Blu-ray, VHS.
Yeah,
got them digitally.
Yeah.
What do you think of the most recent trilogy? Because I know they do get a bit late. Because I think you got the original 4, 5, and 6. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, 4, 5, and 6. Then you got the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then you got the 7, 8, 9. And we all know that the prequels get slated, and I don't think they're too bad. I think they've aged reasonably well.
They're not too bad. For me personally, they get slated. Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Mr. Gungan, no. Mr. Jar Jar Binks.
The other guest on the show today is Jar Jar Binks.
Hello, people.
See, you know what? I didn't mind Jar Jar Binks as a character, but I think it's because I was an annoying little shit when I was a kid, so I was I could relate to it.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, you get slated. But for me, it's still Star Wars.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You know, they can't get everything right. But if you watch it for what it is, you know, you've got Jedi, you've got lightsabers, and to be honest, that's what we watch it for.
Yeah.
You know,
and I thought the first one, especially the Darth Maul fight, I think's the ace. Yeah. That fight and the I can't remember what the music goes along with it. It's very famous, like the John Williams music with the choir and stuff. I can't remember what it's called. Duel of Fates.
Yes. Yeah.
Bloody brilliant piece of music to go along with that fight. And
oh god, yeah.
That's even if you thought, well, that's the best thing. If that's all we got out of it, then happy days kind of thing. But yeah,
it's like every time the shield beam.
Yes, when the doors. When
they're like pacing around waiting to fight again.
Yeah,
and it's like
because you got Darth Maul's like pacing like a dog, isn't he? He's like pacing like a wolf or something.
Yeah.
And the Jedi just like we're just standing here calmly and meditate a little bit. But yeah, like absolutely brilliant. Like, and that for me, that holds up. Like I was probably like I was a teenager when it came out. Was it 97? It came out. I think it was about 90. It was around about like 97, 98. I think it was.
Yeah.
I remember about the special edition on
this
VHS.
This is where we're on about trivia again.
Yes.
Yeah, dates and things.
I'm useless with stuff like that
because it's always been there. I just watch things when they come out.
I remember normally about how old I was when I do something. I can remember how old I was sometimes when I watch something, and I just like work it out from that.
Yeah.
So I think I was about 14, so it probably would have been about 97.
Yeah.
So there's probably loads of people who comment and go, "You're wrong," but I don't mind. I'm wrong about most things.
But like Count Dooku.
Yes.
When Yoda has his first, I remember being at the cinema for that, and everyone went mental.
When Yoda starts bouncing around like a pinball.
Yeah, it was like, you know, Jedi Master, and this is the first time. Obviously, he's a bit younger. When 900 years old you be, fat like this you will not. Too old I am now.
See, that got a bit slate though, didn't it? Because he was bouncing around so much. But there was a reason behind it, because they said that even though you like walked with a cane, I think they said it was like the Force. He was using the Force to do that. So there's like kind of narrative with that. There's kind of like a get out of that.
But this is what I'm saying. You get nitpickers with everything.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why I generally watch things for the sake of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Going back to Turtles, Michael Bay.
Oh, you can't go back to Turtles.
No, I've got to go back for this reason.
I heard you say Michael Bay, so yeah.
Just done the 2 new Turtle films.
Yep.
Right? Now, don't get me wrong. There's good bits in it. For me personally, it's Turtles. There's good bits in it. But, oh my God, they're too big. They're like, I don't know. It didn't work for me. They've changed the characters. The second one, Casey Jones wants to be a cop.
Yes.
And I'm like, he's a security guy that wants to be a cop. No, he's a vigilante.
Yeah.
That wants to be a vigilante.
Yeah.
It's like...
That's kind of that's kind of his old thing, isn't it?
There's good bits in it, not just Megan Fox.
No,
don't get me wrong. But, but yeah, it was changed too much, and the size of them was too...
I think that's what it was for me.
How big are the sewers in New York for them to fit in them?
Exactly, and I think that was for me, because I love them original Jim Henson ones. Even Turtles in Time, because that gets slated.
Yeah, it does.
I don't mind that film. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I saw I was trying to be open-minded, going, oh right, so they've done that to them. Okay, not happy, but I'll give them benefit of the doubt. And then when I first saw the clip, I was like, they look like they're on steroids. Like they look like they're too big, as you say.
Yeah.
And then you say it's the logistics of it, because like my first thought was, how do they get into the sewer?
Yeah,
that was literally my first thought. Thinking, how do they get down a sewer hole? Like,
see, that shows how much of a turtle nut we are.
Exactly.
Because it's
and the thing is, you got to think of stuff like that, because that was the whole ethos of them. They fought in the shadows and all that, and they could quickly get away.
Yeah.
Well, them guys, you're not, are you? So yeah, and I think it's anything when any franchise tries to be different.
Yes.
Like on our Star Trek episode, me and Scott talked about Discovery, and we both dislike Discovery.
Yeah.
But there's people that rave about it, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like if people like it, I won't say they're not wrong. They just like it, don't they? Whereas, but I think it's sometimes a bit of nostalgia that comes through, isn't it? Because you like we grew up with the original 3 Star Wars films and the original Turtles films and the comic and the knowledge of that. Well, my late knowledge, but you always relate to that then, don't you? You always go back and go, right, how is this compared to that? And it's probably always going to really win out, because unless they do something spectacular with fireworks and rainbows, generally your brain's going to go, it was all right, but I still prefer the original. And I think that's what Star Wars does. Now, the thing that Star Wars has done brilliantly recently, I think, is Disney Plus series. The Mandalorian, for me, is spectacular. Yeah. And I can't wait till March when... Is it the third series? Is it the third series?
Season 3.
So that's going to be ace.
So I've avoided the trailer. There's a new trailer. The final trailer that's just come out from Mandalorian. Season 3. And I've avoided it because I know it's going to be good. I don't need to see the trailer.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really watch it. I saw the release trailer and I was like, I'll just watch it when it comes out. Like, I'm exactly the same. I was like, I know it's going to be good. I don't need to know what's good.
Any new film or series that comes out, I'll watch the first trailer.
Yeah.
And then that's
a little bit of a teaser and that's it.
Yeah. Tease myself.
Yeah.
You know, on a Sunday afternoon.
That's a different podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll come back to the X-rated one.
Oh, yes, nice. But yeah, and then because I know I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
But obviously, to see that first trailer, it's like, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then I don't need to see anymore because I'm going anyway.
Yeah. You know, you've kind of bought into it anyway, and you kind of
they've got my money.
I was going to say you're relying on what's come before, isn't it? And even Andor, I quite enjoyed Andor.
Yeah.
Just been on,
now that Andor was a slow burn.
Yeah, it was.
But
it was good. I was, and when it first started, I was thinking, where are they going with this? Even the first episode, I was like, I don't understand what the hell's going on. What are they doing with this? And then, as you say, it was very slow burn, but it was a bit of a different theme on Star Wars for me. It was very much like a bit like the Rogue One thing, where it's like in the shadows a bit, and the rebellion's kind of on the rise and stuff. But for me, that was what an ace series that was. I think they're getting it right.
Well, I was waiting
people
for
know the Star Wars.
Andy Serkis to find a lightsaber in it and go,
my precious. Once that I do, Jedi I'll be. No, you don't want to be a Jedi. Yes, I do. I love Jedi.
But that didn't happen.
That didn't happen, did it?
But
No, it didn't.
I
think
do
you
like
should have.
Andy Serkis. I've met Andy Serkis.
Have you?
Yeah.
No, name
I've
drop.
been fortunate to meet. I've actually met Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, obviously Anthony Daniels,
Yeah.
Kenny Baker, Jeremy Bullock, Peter Mayhew.
Nice. Rest in peace.
Carrie Fisher,
Yes.
quite a funny story, actually told me to F off.
Really?
Yeah. The reason being
I think you need to explain
Yeah.
that.
is I met her and I thought everyone's going to ask about Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I went up to her and I said, can I ask you a question, Carrie? She says, yeah. I says, do you still pick up hitchhikers? And she looked at me and she's like, whatever do you mean? I says, Jane Silent Bob. Because she was nun in Jane Silent Bob.
Yeah.
And she picked them up as hitchhikers. And you have to pay in a certain way to get a hitchhike ride in America,
Yes.
according to Jane Silent Bob.
It's been a long
And,
time since I've seen that film, but yes, I
she
remember
said,
that.
oh, you. She says, come here. And I leaned in and she whispered, F off in my ear.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And we laughed about it. Anyway, a couple of years on, I was in the queue to meet her again. And it was my turn. And she sees me. And she points at me and went, I know you. I was like, yeah, we met before a couple of years ago at Milton Keynes. She says, yeah, she says, did I say a rude word to you? And I was like, oh my God, can she remember this? And I
That's
was
so
like,
cool.
I was like, yeah, you did actually. She went, come here. So I walked over to her, leaned in, and she told me to F off again.
That's brilliant. That's
So
such a
it's
cool
like-
story.
You know,
I love
it's,
it.
yeah, it's,
I love that.
that's something in my geeky memory that'll never go. Carrie Fisher told me twice to F off.
Were they all at
But in a
like,
loving
Comic
way.
Cons and stuff? Were they all at Comic Cons and signings and stuff like that? Were
Yeah.
they? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, they're always nice to you and stuff like that," but they're not always overly friendly,
No.
are they? So it's
Well-
nice. It's nice when someone has that.
Yeah, well, I
Like-
met Adam West in London years ago.
Yeah.
For me, Adam West was my Batman.
Yeah.
And I queued up for ages, stood in the queue, handed me money to the personnel guy next to him. They handed I had a 1966 Viewmaster disc that I
Wow.
wanted signed. He slid it over to Adam West. Adam West signed it, looked up, handed it to me, didn't say a word.
Wow.
And I was absolutely gutted. The second time I met him, he was really friendly and I had a selfie with him.
Right.
So
Just
that
goes to
redeemed
show.
it. But the
Yeah.
first time I met him, I was like, I've
I
just met
suppose it's,
one of my heroes and I didn't even get a
You
hello
didn't get a
from him.
hello. I think it's probably that thing because obviously it must be super tiring just to sit all day and meet people and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So it probably depends
Yeah.
on like when you get to them. But I think for anyone that like has that sort of fame, and I think especially in like the geek world,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
people idolize
Yes.
not just the characters they portrayed, but the actual actor that
Yeah.
they hold him in such esteem and admiration.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I met Gil Gerard and Erin Gray.
really,
Yeah, Buck and Wilma.
yeah.
And Erin Gray actually hugged me
Oh wow, cool.
because I stood to get a photograph with her. And as I stood next to her, I leaned into and went,
Billy, Billy, hubba, hubba, Wilma.
and she laughed her head off and gave me a really nice hug. And
My brother would have loved that.
Yeah.
He had a bit of a thing for it.
yeah.
Well,
yeah,
so did I actually. to be
Yeah,
fair.
well,
Like,
I
you
think
know.
most of us did
I
through
think
the
so.
Buck
I
Rogers
think so.
years.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's no. I
But,
love that. I love that Carrie Fisher story. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. It's stuff like
But,
that though. That'll obviously now she's passed, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
that is something that one is so special to you,
Yeah.
but you can make people smile by telling that,
I
and
know.
people will be like that's just
Well,
that's
when you start
made me
off
so
and tell,
happy. Like,
tell somebody that
It's so
Carrie
cool.
Fisher told you to F off.
yeah, it's just
And
hilarious,
you're like,
isn't it? You're like what?
Why? You know, and then you tell it, and it's like, it's
And the fact she recalled that as well, like
I know.
the fact that
couple of years
like
on,
you
it's
can,
like,
you can imagine that she would think I
the
told
amount of
someone once
people she
to F
must have
off,
met. Yeah.
but then to actually say, was it you that I did it to?
Yeah.
That's pretty special.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. That is. I
Yeah.
think I've never really met anyone from like the comic books or anything like that. I met Meatloaf once. We went to a Meatloaf signing.
Yeah.
And the thing that made my day when I met him is when I got to the desk to sign, I had like a special edition of Bad Out of Hell to sign, and he sang. The Bat Out of Hell was playing in the background, and he sang to me part of my favorite bit of Back Out of Hell.
No way.
Never forget that in my life. Like I was just like,
See, that's what I mean.
oh my god! Like it was the best thing ever. Honestly, it was so cool. And you'll never forget that Carrie Fisher thing.
No.
And that it's stuff like that, like going to like Comic Cons, meeting and greeting people that have the same interests, is like kind of what solidifies like your whole love of everything,
Yeah,
and you
see,
can keep that going.
Now this is a strange thing because obviously growing up in the 80s,
Yeah.
being a geek, it was a little bit secluded. You were
Yeah,
like
yeah,
an
yeah.
outcast.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I think 95% of movies that come out are related to comics.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's
you know,
it's kind of
it's a
like become a
massive
bit
thing.
mainstream, hasn't it? Like if you're
Yeah.
a geek, it's kind of acceptable. Like I see people in my office with like Superman mugs and Batman mugs, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a bit more outward facing now that people.
But
like,
when you see them, do you think, yeah, that's not vintage? Like, mate, you go, yeah, they've probably got that from TK or somewhere.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Supermarket.
Is that from Primark? Steve, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, mate. That's
Mate, not a
been
problem.
half an hour, mate. It goes quick, doesn't it, pal?
It does, doesn't it?
It does. That was ace, that was, mate. And I would be delighted if you ever wanted to come back and
Mate,
talk more stuff
Yeah,
with you.
I'm going to have to
It would
probably
be
blend
ace.
into the shadows now.
I was going to say, like, find a manhole cover. Like
Ninja, vanish!
He's gone.
But, yeah.
No, he's still here.
Yeah, he's left a foot.
No worries, mate. Right, we'll call it a close then. Thank you so much for coming on.
Mate, you're welcome.
And
Thank you for inviting me.
We'll hopefully
I've
speak
quite
to you.
enjoyed
We'll
it.
hopefully speak to you soon again.
I must admit, I was worried.
You were, weren't you?
But,
You were.
Yeah, but as you can see, I don't usually shut up.
I was going to say he got over it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I've recovered. I've had some caffeine. So, right, cheers, mate.
Right, no worries.
Appreciate it.
We'll end it there. Thank everyone. If you want to hear more of Steve, let me know. If you don't, let me know as well. Be nice, though. Just for the impressions alone, I think he should come back. So, right, take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you all soon. You've been listening to Stephen Speak the podcast. Thanks for listening to my unscripted prattle on everything and nothing. Visit stephenspeak.com for updates, information, and my blog. You can follow more updates on social media at StephenSpeakPC. Thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon.